everybody, and welcome to this weekly stream with me, Crysantos, and the amazing Tuccy,
hello.
who I blame for making me wear this.
Anyone in the chat knows what this bit, where this bit is supposed to go? I mean, this doesn't look practical, but maybe the way the Romans wore it.
Yes, unless BBs now work in the Italian department. That's an interesting comment. Yes, of course, we will.
Yes.
We'll play a bit of.
We will translate.
Yes, like I've been looking forward to doing this. No, we Ave Caesar, exactly. Like I had Latin in school, so like this triggers memories.
Well, I know only basic things from Latin, so basically things included in Asterix and Obelix, some fun Latin names of animals and plants like bubo bubo, and then there's some classics like that we need to destroy Carthago and stuff.
Exactly. And the cool thing is we have plenty of news today. I saw here a comment from Astrospade who says, wouldn't it be good if the game graphics were also as good as the title graphics? Look, if the game would be on a level basically being as beautiful as the trailer, then that would be a great leap in game performance, and I would love to have that. But today, we might have some news about upcoming visual improvements, because we have plenty of news with us, including new ships, new mode that is coming. We also have visual improvements, so plenty of stuff that we're going to be talking about in, I would say, roughly around 90 minutes.
Yeah,
so I hope you're going to be
1 hour and a half. Stay with us. You won't regret it. We have some juicy stuff.
Do you celebrate? Oh, there's a question from Friedrich who says, "Do you celebrate Altweiberfastnacht?"
What?
Not here. It's a German carnival-related activity, but I'm from the south in Germany where this is not really celebrated.
And I will actually now spoil the Roman feel, because I simply need glasses to read the chat, and this helmet isn't really compatible with glasses that much, but well.
Look, I can play like this. This is probably going to be not the most efficient way of playing.
You can, I don't know, you can YOLO rush. All you need is W.
Exactly. When do you announce news for Clan Wars? It's hard to do preparation with no information. I think we actually shared the information. Let me just double check. But we already shared the information about the next clan battle season. And we also shared news about the new ranked battle season. But let me just quickly double check, because I thought that was already announced. But, I don't want to be in trouble, so I'll quickly check the internal information. But if I recall correctly, this was already announced.
And we have a trade offer in the chat, 350 euros for 10,000 steel. Unfortunately, we cannot do that.
Yes. So he was, because the question was like, what's up with clan battle? So the next clan battle season was already announced. It's going to be starting on the 24th of February. So in roughly 2 weeks, it's going to last until the 12th of April. And this is the 12th season. It's going to be held on Tier 9 in a 7v7 format. So if you like your clan battles without CVs, that's going to be the season for you. And there's also going to be something that we want to try, which is actually ship banning from our side.
Yes.
How we're going to do this depends a bit on how the season is going, but we basically reserve the right to maybe ban some ships in the season and see how that actually affects the season in itself during the season. So I hope that's good news for you and is the info that you have been looking for.
Yes, and I see already someone knows a classic in the chat. PJ Matthews, woe him to the ground, Centurion. Yes, that's an unforgettable scene.
Yes. Does that hat come with a mask? And if so, what time do you finish so I can sneak in and steal? It says heat-resistant BFG. He says he's a tank blab. So we know that doesn't come with a mask. This only comes with this.
Yes.
Thanks to our Italian community manager, who will be hosting a special Italian stream on the 22nd of February. So if you're Italian, I would highly recommend you to check this out.
Yes, exactly. It seems that the automatic filter on Twitch is some... Oh, Taki Wapskallian. Yes.
Painter is asking, so which one of you is Bicus Dicus? In German, it's a Schwanzus Longus.
See.
Yes. I don't know. We haven't compared yet, so I think that's also not going to happen on stream.
And he has a wife, you know.
Nice question. Also interested. I'm not sure whether we should like this is even though this is a mature stream, it's not that mature, and I don't want this channel to get.
I don't think like yeah.
This helmet I would find very handy for cleaning the snow from my car. Yeah, I mean you can basically just. I mean I don't want to take it down because this will probably fall off. But yes, you can definitely use this against snow.
Probably yes. Also against mosquitoes, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, good morning from Las Vegas. Wow. And Argentina. So, guys, let us know where you're from. As you can see down here, we're actually sitting in Prague. We have a
and actually,
we have a big
Heat Resistant
improvement.
BFG is saying hello from Shishkov.
Ah, Shishkov, neighbors. Yes. I'm living in Vinoradi and not too far from the tower. So, but I wanted to say is we have a fun setup here with social distancing. As you can see, I cannot go here, but if I move over here, So
yes, it's 2 meters.
Exactly. We want to stay compliant with the rules.
Where are the code? There will be no code, I'm afraid.
Because I expected this question, so I'm sure that you saw the announcement of the next bonus code activity that we're going to be hosting on this channel, and that's going to start next week. Basically, when the update is coming out, right? When update 0.10.1 is hitting, and you do have then access or early access to Italian battleships, this is when this activity will start, because right now we don't even have the token in the client. This will be done next week. So starting next week, you'll be able to participate both on Twitch and YouTube and even on Steam, because we have 2 ways of doing this for you. If everything works according to our plan, because there's going to be a slight change to how Twitch Drops is going to work because of improvements on Twitch's side, you should be able to get these missions via Twitch Drops, or you can just redeem the bonus code as we usually do on the official channel.
Yeah. Oh, there is a question. Where is Mr. Conway? As Captain Minia replied, he's not here.
He's sick at home, probably
he
watching
refused
us.
to wear this, so
yes, no, he's unfortunately he didn't feel very well today, so we sent him home, and hopefully he's going to recover and then rejoin us next week for the streams. Has Mr. Conley been a very naughty boy? So PJ Matthews, yes, but that's not the reason why he's not here. Yes. Mr. Conway is in general a naughty boy. You know this, and I know this.
Mr. Conway is busy sacking cartridge. Knowing him, he's probably busy sacking some star system.
Yes, we might have played a little bit of Stellaris. Can you extend the time to complete the shipyard missions? Well, Zeet, no, unfortunately not. This was kind of set in stone, and you only have until the end of this update to finish the missions. But I hope you get as far as you wanted to go. Where is Asterix and Obelix? I think we're both more in the category of Obelix and Asterix, so this is more like Obelix and Obelix. Yes. For Asterix, we would have to maybe get Lord of Droid in here, but he's actually not that short, so I don't know.
I know who could be perfect Asterix. He even speaks French.
Oh, okay. We can, yes.
Shots fired.
So I used to, I love Asterix and Obelix. I actually used to read it in Latin. That was the only way that was fun to learn a bit of Latin, because there was Asterix and Obelix in Latin.
They are with cacophonics or vital statistics. Vital statistics, yes.
Obelix and Obelix feels amazing, man. Yeah, Juice, you know the feeling. Hello, Romans. Yes. Sounds like a Latin class was more fun than mine. That was not Latin class. Like I really sucked at Latin, especially my first year of having it, because I was a lazy boy in school, at least for Latin. And then I had to, like, my parents made me, learn more Latin. And then I found in the library we had in school that there's, they had Asterix and Obelix in Latin. So I thought that's, at least a fun way to do a little bit of vocabulary. And guys, if you please don't spam. We are still waiting for more information about any potential changes for skills at ships. Right now we don't have them. I would have loved to have them with me today, but I hope we're going to have something next week.
Tovarish Ivan, what are your personal opinion on Heisen? Well, for me, Heisen is interesting. It's not the typical Japanese high-tier battleship. It kind of feels like a high-tier Fuso. Like a lot of pew-pew sticks, not necessarily like fitting with the rest of the line, but I kind of like playing her. I generally prefer battleships that have a lot of guns the battleships that have a few of them, even if they are more accurate, because it's just more fun to see all the shells splashing everywhere. I am a simple man. I am simple to please.
Herman German has a question about the SOMAs. So the SOMAs, will it be available after the update? Yes, the SOMAs will be available basically until the end of the next update. It will be removed when update 0.10.2 hits. The next update, though, next week will be 0.10.1. But please keep in mind that quite a few ships are leaving the armory, including the Thunderer, Georgia, for example. So if you're interested in those ships, make sure to get them before they're going to be removed with the update next Wednesday or Thursday.
A week.
Exactly. And I saw that Captain Minia said he had 2 years of Latin. Dude, I suffered for 5 years, but at least it gave me the big Latinum that I can't really use for anything. So GG, the German education system. Is there any issue with the World of Warships NA website right now?
I don't know.
Wooden Duck, I don't know. Maybe some other guys on chat can confirm.
There, but
let's check. But if you have an issue like this, it should be resolved very quickly. Actually, usually the portal is not really hit by major outages.
It seems to be working.
Yeah, maybe use a different browser and check whether it works there.
Yeah, it's.
So, and then let me check whether there were also some questions on YouTube. And there was a question here from Voritz Revenge, who was asking when submarines will be released to World of Warships. Currently, we don't have any news about this because we're still working on improving them. And as soon as we have more information, we will let you know. But hopefully, we'll also have some more information about submarines in the foreseeable future. Ethan was asking, will the Italian premium bees have SAP now, or will they be keeping their HE? So if a ship has currently HE, and let's take, for example, the Roma, it has HE at the moment, we won't remove HE because that ship was built and balanced around that aspect, having AP and HE. And it's very unlikely that we will change this because then, Roma would be very, even closer to Vittorio Veneto than it already is. So there's going to be kind of like the difference. You have smoke and SAP with Vittorio Veneto, while you have HE and AP with no smoke with the Roma. So this is not going to happen. At least it's not planned right now.
And we have a question from actually the Dark One. A Galus. Galfs, but I prefer Galus given the Latin theme. Hello, any devblog for today? Perhaps something related to COTS? There will be devblog news. You will see. In 75-ish minutes.
Yes. Then we had a question about will there be any plan about Italian DD line? So Gregorius, I hope we're going to have Italian DDs in the future. We already added cruisers. Now we're adding Italian battleships.
And we already tested one Italian DD.
Exactly.
Leone.
Yes. And we have, for example, Paolo Emilio already in the game. So there's a good chance with this.
Yes.
But when and how, I cannot tell you yet. But there's a good, if we already have two branches, there's a good chance there's going to be a third branch for the DDs in there. Oh, and then there was a question here from, Dimitri on YouTube, who's asking, dear presenters, hello from Russia. Please tell me the bonus codes that you're distributing here are suitable for the Russian server. So the way it's going to work, just like last time. So if you are watching on YouTube, you will have to use the bonus code because there's nothing like YouTube drops, like an equivalent to Twitch drops. And these bonus codes will be like if it's an English-speaking stream, it's going to be for EU, NA, and Asia, and the Russian streams will hand out the Russian codes for the Russian server. But if you're watching on Twitch, it should work for all clusters. So if you, for example, come to Twitch, it should be working for the Russian cluster as well. Okay, and then slapping the microphone here. Let's maybe play a first battle.
Yes.
And then we will try to answer as many questions as possible. And then we also have some news to share later in the stream.
Yeah. And for that, I guess we should de-helmet ourselves.
Yes, let's do this for now. God, my
Those
hair is
are warm.
Yes, I mean, you have short hair at least. I still have to find a hairdresser that will cut my hair at home.
I already have uncomfortably long hair. It's
uncomfortably long hair. Look at him. It's maybe like what? 2 centimeters?
Yeah.
So, what tier do you want to play first?
I don't know, but since we can,
So we're going to play some Italian BBs. We can maybe start with tier 7. Maybe some information about Italian BBs while we're fitting out our ships. Let me just quickly...
so I guess you are the better battleship player out of the two of us.
That might be the case, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't equip your ship.
Nah, but I'm thinking we shouldn't do like a double
That's okay.
Italian division. So I will probably spot for you.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, and hello, TC Freya. Pizza or pasta with or without pineapple, then please. So, first of all, both pasta and pizza are amazing. I love Italian food. When it comes to pineapple, I follow the German tradition of I do love my pizza Hawaii with pineapple on it. I wouldn't put it into pasta sauce, but actually I would try it. If there's something that would sound interesting, I would try it. Like in general, I love to try new food, and I'll give it a shot until it kind of kills me or at least isn't tasty. But for me, pineapple, it's tasty on the pizza. I did a lot of vacation, especially when I was like up until like 16 with my parents. Every year we would go to the southern part of Italy, to Gargano near Vieste, which is like a beautiful area. And I love the southern Italian way of doing pizza, like very thin crust and usually only like 2 ingredients on top of the tomato sauce and cheese. And I love that style. And down there you wouldn't get pineapple on pizza. I'm absolutely fine with this, but I also like it on there. So I don't force any Italians to serve it like this for me, but I do like pineapple on my pizza. Please don't hate me, Italians. Please.
I mean, I've seen worse pizza abominations, so...
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff on pizza, and I think pineapple is not the worst. I agree.
Yes.
Pizza with pineapple, nope. Like you do what you do, I do what I do. Whatever floats your boat or whatever floats your pizza, I guess, is completely up to you.
Just for the record, we still failed to make or trick or something goad our Warjack into having pineapple pizza. He's resisting so far.
Yes, we are trying. Will the Italian ships have the historical ability to switch sides mid-match? And the answer to this is no. We can actually show a bit of the ships because I saw that we are mostly talking. Let's actually go here. So I'm currently fitting out my Caracciolo, the Francesco Caracciolo. And if you take a look at it, you will see that it has here 8 guns. It's going to be the 381 millimeters on tier 7. This is actually the ship that you will be able to get by completing all of the combat mission groups that are going to be available in the next update. So the way it's going to work, it's actually really, really simple. You collect the Italian tokens through doing missions. There are also some bonus ways how to get Italian tokens. For example, you can redeem Italian tokens for recruiting station points. You can also get additional Italian tokens from the streams and YouTube videos, as we announced, to the bonus codes. And there will be also random bundles. So there's a lot of different ways of how to get these Italian tokens. And then you can redeem them for sequential bundles. And you're going to have, it starts with tier 4, tier 5, tier 6. If you play actively, you're like, I looked at all of the missions and how much it gives you. You should be able to get to tier 6 and tier 7 if you play every week and do the milestones. Otherwise, even if you're not that active, you're going to get to tier 5, I would say.
I guess everyone who watches us probably already has the tier 4 anyway, the Dante Alighieri.
Well, not everybody has Prime Gaming, right? But
at least, okay, anybody who has Prime Gaming has her. But even without that, getting to tier 4 will be extremely simple. It's to quote Mr. Conway, it's easy. And yeah, if you are playing just on a regular basis, you should be able to get to tier 6. And obviously, if you are playing a lot, you should be able to get all the way. That's
exactly. Let me just use one of our pretty camouflages, or maybe the theme one.
Are you sending invite, or should I send invite?
Please send you the invite, so I can quickly.
Okay, so in that case, if anyone wants to play with us, just send me a message in port, please, on EU server, and we will invite you.
Actually, let's use the Regia Marina camouflage. Just put it here on enabled. And so that's going to be basically tier 4, tier 5, tier 6. with the tokens should be you'll be able to get this completely for free. Same thing is true for the tier 7, and you will also be able to get a nice permanent camouflage through the tokens for the tier 7. Tier 8 is also available with the Italian tokens, and the tier 9 will only be available for random bundles that you can buy with doubloons as early access.
BF109 Friedrich, will you simulate the decapping armor layer on some Italian ships? If yes, will it be effective against AP rounds? I'm afraid that's a bit too unnecessary complication for our armor model. We have Choicerino.
Choice. Of course.
Hello, Choicerino. Come to our division.
Exactly. And if you take a look here at the tier 7 battleship, right, that we're going to play here, let's take a look at it in port. As I've said before, it has 8 381mm guns, and the range is actually 17.5 kilometers, so that's not the best range, but we spec'd it to 12.5 kilometers of detectability. That's also the reason why right now I'm not going to go, for example, for Deadeye, because I rather have other options and use a bit more of a survivability build. So I basically went for concealment expert, I went for emergency repair expert, and like a pretty much, for me, standard battleship build. Of course, you can switch this out if you wanted to say, for example, you want to go for Deadeye, which on Italian battleships, due to decent concealment, might also be a good option. We can try this maybe with the tier 8.
Veronica SVK, I hope the spaghetti warships will bring me the same fun as the spaghetti western. I love those movies.
That's nice to hear. Just in terms of consumables and what kind of ammunition you have available, if you haven't seen this yet, so up until tier 7, you get a repair party, you get the damage control party, and with tier 8, it then gets a bit more interesting because you will get the exhaust smoke generator, which is the full speed smoke that will cover the ship. And as armament, you do get the SAP shells, which are kind of like a mix of HE and
for
AP.
Destroyers.
Yes, evil for destroyers. Overall, the idea behind SAP is you have something that is somewhere in between AP and HE. You're not able to set fires, but the penetration doesn't depend on, it doesn't drop down over a range like it does with the armor penetrating shells. And they're going to be very, very, very good against DDs. You notice maybe when you played the Italian cruisers, obviously you don't have the same accuracy as you do with Italian cruisers, so you're not going to have the same amount of oomph effect, but still it's going to hurt them quite significantly. Okay, then let me actually ready up in division.
Yay.
And let's go here. Yes, the SAP mechanic to DDs is 10% of damage, but you're dealing more damage, slightly more damage with SAP than with AP. But overall, it's not like these battleships are going to be like super DD killers in that sense. So, like, it's don't compare it 1-to-1 with Italian cruisers.
So
it's basically like an
shells
overpen.
seem to be useless according to most streamers. Well, we shall see right now, but it depends on the target.
Exactly, it depends on the target, right? You still have the overmatch mechanic that also works for SAP. Overall, it depends on how you're going to use it. We'll see how it works, and if, for example, we see that SAP is not as strong as you would expect it to be, we can still change it. But overall, the SAP alpha is higher than on AP.
Yes. And it's not only about alpha, but also about the effective damage. I don't know.
Yes.
I think that against comparable targets, I would use HE against. I generally was dealing more damage with SAP. Obviously, you don't get the fires, but the pure damage is good.
Exactly. So if you look at SAP, for example, here the maximum damage is 12.5k, while for AP the damage is 12k. So we'll do slightly more damage with SAP. And we'll try SAP and see how it works. The great thing about SAP is that you don't deal over penetrations. You basically just do full penetrations or you bounce.
So I guess we go generally this direction, right? The direction we are going right now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, headphones. Important.
Okay, actually add here both of the point of views.
I've been balancing Italian babies for a long time. I would expect a decent line by now, not seeing how it works. I meant that you will see how it works. And obviously we will see live as well. But because so far you are able to mostly read things.
No, I guess he means because I said, we will have to see how it goes in terms of balancing. It's always a bit different in terms of how, like, we have a good amount of data when testing, right? We have a lot of players testing the ships. Oh, sound. Who is it? Is it you again? Let's double check.
What?
Sorry.
Sound is off. Or do you mean that there's a too loud sound in game?
I don't know what happened. Let's double check after. Okay, sorry, that threw me a bit off. So seeing all of the comments about about the sound. Ooh, like I need to be a bit careful here.
Oh, there might be again. Yeah, we were catching the game sound twice from somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely not from Twitch now.
Okay, this was a nice salvo, and especially on that angle target. We gotta watch out. There's a Mahan coming down this way.
Can we get an option to see all our commanders in one place? Well, maybe one time.
Don't play and answer people. Look, we're trying to do both at the same time, because otherwise the stream would be quite boring. If it's only answering question or if it's only gameplay, we try to find a good balance. Let's see if he keeps angled this way. We might actually try to get another salvo.
Torpedo planes coming your way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm dodging already.
Oh, hello.
When are the skip bombs coming out? That depends a bit. They're still in testing, so we'll have to see.
Yes.
You're going to get the Mahan, right? Easy. Looks like that's an easy deal.
Yeah. Hey.
You want to see me suffer from time to time because I'm too good of a player? Noob for life? I know that you sometimes want to see me suffer. That's when you make me play CVs. Oh, let's see here on the Duke of York what we can do. Half of the shots are gonna stay in the island. Let's see. Oh, we'll take that. We'll have to angle a bit more.
So far.
Mm-hmm. And overall, like this is true for like any new mechanic in the game or something that you might be unfamiliar with. I would always try and see like how does a certain ammunition type, for example, work. This is why I would play predominantly with SAP in the beginning to see when does it work, when does it not work. Especially on like angle targets, SAP is probably going to be the better choice. It depends a bit on which target you're shooting at, right? But since SAP deals full penetration damage, it's actually quite nice.
Do you need me around here still, or should I go to the middle? Hello. Do you still need me around here, or should I go to the middle?
No, go to the middle. That's okay.
This is one of the downsides of playing with headphones.
Yeah, I just think I hope the game sound is not too loud for you guys, but it looks like it's very good, so it's just a bit loud for me. Please slow down the release of new lines and fix the issues that have been created to date. Commander rework, says A440. So look, we try to find a good balance. Exactly, we try to find a good balance between things, but there is a certain aspect of doing something like the Commander rework is obviously a very big change to the game. And we're trying to do our very best to, release it in the most balanced state that we can. But we also need the Commander update is actually a very good example of where we need a lot of like live data from the live server to do the last piece of like fine tuning, just to see that everything is working properly. In terms of new lines, it's a bit disconnected because like the guys who are working on new lines are not the guys who are working on, look at this nice 10K servo, are not the guys who are working on, for example, the ship models. This is a completely different department. And while some people might be very interested in new skills, other people might be very interested in new ship lines. So it's a bit of a balance that we have to find in terms of new content and just having something in the game for everybody. And for example, not having a new line right now in the next update would not really affect anything in terms of how we would balance the commander skills.
Because basically all lines have to work with all the commander skills anyway, so
Yep.
if there is anything to be changed, if we see that there needs to be some change to the line or to the skills, it's completely unrelated.
I've just realized that I have this. Thank you. Right now I can use my concealment to kind of get into a different position, and then we'll see how we're going to deal with the rest of these ships. I would like to push that Colorado. He's not going to be able to spot me in a second.
He started turning in time. He will probably dodge the torpedoes, but hopefully not all of them. Only one. I always forget how actually fast turning are the old American battleships once they start turning.
Yes.
But I mean, he paid for his venture into the center, and he might not survive it.
Yeah, that's with a battleship like this, you will pay the price because you cannot really retreat anymore if you're in the Colorado.
There's still the kamikaze, so I guess I'm going to hunt for it.
Okay, looks like the Dunkirk got itself beached here. Let's see whether we can get the AGV. It's one hit and then I aimed slightly too high. He's doing a good job at dodging. Good job by the AGV. The Colorado is still alive, so we have to be careful not to show too much broadside. But I guess nice. The Munich choice that you took care of him. And Dunkirk, we'll see whether we can. He should be moving forward now. Good job, choice. Oh no, he's still reversing. I thought he would be. I thought he wouldn't be. And this would have been like, for example, this would have been a better hit. Can you please stop ruining the game with skill works and CV works? Thanks. So cheese killer, look. While you might not agree with all of the decisions that we make, the CV rework was definitely necessary because the old CVs had a lot of issues as well. Now, is there still room for improvement? Yes, I do think so. And we're not saying that everything is perfect.
Kamikaze is all the way up out there. Wow.
Yeah, but we need to make certain changes, to ensure that balancing is going to be there. And then we'll do this step by step. And that same thing is true for the commander skill work. I'm sure there will be, changes and updates and also future upgrades to the system.
And also there are new technologies, there are even new things that we can do that we were not able to do before. So basically the game is alive. It's changing all the time. The moment we stop updating it,
Exactly. Do you factor fun into your balancing decisions? You look like you're having fun. Of course we balance fun into our equations. And we also have a lot of data that shows, how players interact with the game and, survey results and so on. So, of course we have that in mind. But yes, there will always be situations in the game where there's a frustrating situation or, it really depends on what kind of things are happening around you. Of course, we balance, we take this into consideration as well. But we also use data a lot to verify. Because it's very easy to say everything is shit and this should be removed. But if we see that data actually says the opposite, and balancing is a very good example actually for this in terms of whether ships are balanced or not. If we have access to a huge amount of data to see whether there is an actual issue or not, because sometimes it's more of like a perception issue. And like taking as an example, for example, Gav Zeppelin was not a great example of like using community resources to use it for balancing. It's for me personally, like it's always great to have a mix of data and the feedback in general you would get. And we always have to verify with data just to make sure that we're not destroying balance in the game.
Also, don't forget that it's very hard to define fun, and it's very, very subjective. I mean, there are people who really enjoy carriers. There are people who enjoy the new carriers. There are people who enjoy the old carriers. There are people who enjoy large, slow-firing battleships because it's just their style. There are people who just enjoy weird things, like I don't know, actually, Arkansas Beta. I mean, if you look at the stats in here, it's a very weird ship, like slow, no AA and stuff, but it can be fun, at least for me. So we have to balance this as well. That's also why we actually are sending out surveys to players to cover people who, for example, don't talk with us on the forums and stuff, because they often have different preference than the very active players. And it's the same with the balancing. Like sometimes we have ships that are stats-wise very strong, but nobody complains about them. Then we have ships that are stats-wise unimpressive, and everyone complains about them. So it's all subjective, and it's all in how you define fun for yourself and for the others.
Yeah, and also just to make sure that you understand this, right? While we say this, if you bring up, for example, a ship, if there's a ship or a skill or a topic that you bring up here, we always bring this up internally, right? It's not like we're sitting here and saying like, oh, you might feel this way, we disagree. We always check and verify. When you come here and say like, hey, what about this skill? What about this ship? We do take a look. And we make sure that, that there's definitely going to be somebody paying attention to this topic. And if we need to make changes, that we will make changes. But sometimes we're in a situation where we look at it and we see that it's actually fine. And then we might not make changes. But in other situations, a good example would be the German battleships that got a Sigma buff. By now it's already like over a year ago. But there was a really good example of we probably wouldn't have touched it from our side because the German battleships were doing okay. It's not like they were like the best, also not the worst. They were in a good spot in between. But we thought because that was one of the main complaints about the German branches, and it's one of the most popular ones in the game as well, that we actually made that change. So it's not like feedback is like disregarded. It's taking into the equation of how we try to improve things. But if the data shows that it's not the case, then we won't do it in certain cases. Make secondaries great again. Look, we're going to take a close look at secondaries and how the secondary builds are performing compared to other builds. And if we need to make changes, we will make changes. But I hope you saw a little bit about how the Caracciolo was working here. Obviously, we were in a really good matchmaking for us, which pushed us basically to be the top tier ships here. We were in tier 7s. We faced quite a lot of tier 5 and tier 6 ships. So take this into consideration. But overall, I hope you can see like a good mix of concealment. You have not the most accurate guns, but still they do hurt a lot. And we can actually play the tier 8 and show you the exhaust smoke generator if you want to.
WD40 Gaming, can you add a comment section to the in-game survey? There is no way to identify why the player is satisfied or dissatisfied, so the survey could provide more meaningful data. Well, that's kind of problematic because, for one, it would be rather hard to implement, but the other, it's you are speaking about the post-battle survey, right? That's basically relying on large numbers, and we can see after which battles, for example, the player replied the way they replied, so you can get a lot of immediate data out of it, and I think those are more actionable than actually just open text survey. For open text, we are giving you options elsewhere, and we are giving you options to write more. So that's basically it's different tools for different purposes, and you won't necessarily increase the usefulness of the in-game survey by adding a text section, because that would just be very difficult to interpret correctly.
John L. is saying here, to be honest, Wargaming doesn't give a rat's ass about operations. It's not true. But I mean, I've addressed this, and John, you know this because you've been on the stream for a very long time, and you know the answer to this. The sad truth is that not a lot of players are playing operations. That's the sad truth, and that's why we prioritize other modes who are going to be catering to a wider audience at the moment. The PvP is significant, like not even comparable to how many people are playing operations. And this, because I know the comment is going to come like, oh, you didn't change a lot over time, so obviously not a lot of people are playing them. This was already the case when they came out. This is the reason why because we have a limited amount of resources.
And this was the case whenever we added a new operation as well.
Exactly.
That's it caused a spike for a short time, but then it just...
And that doesn't mean that we're not going to do anything with PV in the future. But we just realized that at least this model isn't really like doing the job. And we rather focus our resources on helping things in the game that benefit the most players where we can, like the majority of players. And we're always having this in mind that, we're not developing something that is only for like 1 or 2% or 5% of the player base, but is valuable to most players. And while I completely understand you would like to see more operations, I hope we're going to have more operations or more interesting PvE content in the future. But like we've been saying this a lot, and we address this very often. And I hope you understand that we are business. We want you guys to be happy. And if operations are not interesting for the majority of them, even though there is a certain segment of you who would like to play more of that, we try to make kind of everybody happy, which is very tricky because all of you have different interests in what you would like to see in the game. Some people want to play new ships, some people want to see new modes, some people like to play competitive, some people play a mix of it, some people only play co-op, right? And we have to kind of find a way to make all of you happy. And that's always a challenge for any game developer. And I hope you can understand that, we're sitting here, we're being very honest about this. We're not saying like, oh, it's going to be just around the corner or something. We're trying to, give you the data that you can at least, while you not might agree with what we're saying, that you at least can understand our motivation behind it.
By the way, does anyone want to join our division? Because we have a slot free now, but if nobody volunteers, we can do another one with Choice Rinia.
Yep.
If you want to play with us, send us a message, preferably to me, but Mr. Crysantos can invite you as well.
Exactly. Tuccy's volume is low. I think it should be fine.
Oh, Captain Minia.
But Tucky has to talk into the microphone. That's probably the biggest issue.
Oh, yeah.
Does Wargaming consider suggestions on the forums? Yes, we do consider it. Just be aware of the fact that we do have a vision for the game, and as much as we take on suggestions, it has a it's not the most realistic chance for it to make it into the game just because you put it on the forum. But we're very happy to read it. And because I see the questions.
So I have I have 3 candidates actually. So in the order of poking me, it will be Captain Minia, TC Freer, and Corbyite. Corbyite. But so guys, for now I'm inviting Captain Minia, and TC Freer, Corbyite, you will be next in line. What shall we play now?
Let's move
7 Italian. So
let's move maybe to tier 8, then we can jump down to tier 6. I just wanted to show a little bit how the exhaust smoke generator is actually working, so you can have an idea of what to expect and how it works, and how you might be able to use it, because it can be quite confusing if you consider it to be like let's say a ordinary smoke that you would use on a DD, for example, because you can't really use it in a way that you just move up close to the enemy, you drop smoke, and you're concealed, because you will still be visible to most of the players. So I just want to show this to you. Bring back Cherry Blossom and Hermes. Lex Mechanic, I hope they're going to come back at some point. For submarines, we're still working on improvements, so hopefully you will feel differently about them when they will be in the next iteration. But overall, I hope they come back, these operations. I just don't think they're going to come back in the near future, because our developers are busy with other features at the moment. And at some point, I hope we will be revisiting them. And there was a question how to enter the training room. Let me show this to you.
Yes.
If you wonder how to actually enter the training room, it's very easy. You go here to the setting. I'm currently in the division. Let me just check. Because I'm not... can you give me... actually, you can do it. I'll just quickly switch over to you. Can you show how to enter training room? Because I'm not the division commander.
Oh, yeah. So you want I will have to cancel the
No, it's fine. You just basically, you
yeah,
see
but,
here, you can just select
I,
it like
I can
any of
just
them.
select where, so you go to select battle type and you go here. But I won't show you how to go past this point because that would mean I would have to dismiss the division. And
It's your audio. Wait, give me a second. I don't know what's wrong with the audio. So guys, sorry. Into the fan. Okay, let me quickly check. So it's your gameplay audio. Let me quickly.
yeah.
Sorry, like I don't know. Wow, Crysantos teleported. Yes, that's the social distancing that we have between the tables, but
Yes.
then we'll just not switch to Tuccy's point of view, hopefully. I don't know. Like, it was fine when we tested it. It's really
Yes.
weird. Like, I did like 2 sound checks beforehand, but I guess there still needs improvements. Okay, so like,
What
going.
about the submarines? Will they still come into play or not? Well, they will appear in probably more tests, and when they are ready, they will appear in their mode. And we shall see.
Don't forget, guys, you can still redistribute your commander skill points for free until the end of this update. So, actually, I'm not going to take this. I'm going to take this. I want to have faster turret traverse. I also want to have this. Journal rush is always a nice skill to take. And then, let's go for Deadeye. And
Robert Mack. And there it is, folks. Sees comments about audio and response, ignores comments about broken AA carrier, says a lot. Yes, it says that we are trying to solve the thing that is right now annoying all our viewers, and we can solve it quickly and effectively. And as for the rest, well, we are taking in your comments and we are answering the questions. But you can, especially if you can see also Twitch chat, you can see that there's a lot of comments, a lot of questions. So we have to prioritize.
exactly.
And if we answered the same question already repeatedly, stream after stream, then it's a bit lower on the list of priorities if there is no change compared to questions, for example, for the actual topics or to the actual issues we are suffering with the stream setup. Oh, Captain Minia took Belfast, 43.
Nice. Okay.
That should be fun.
So now I'm trying a...
Cazador 1901, if you didn't receive Twitch containers in several months and you can't see them in game, try... yeah, if you get the notifications but they don't appear in game and you have the account associated with Twitch, did you try just unlinking and linking back again? If yes, and it still didn't help, please contact the customer support team.
Exactly.
But in general, usually unlinking it and linking it again works.
And there's a question here why I'm not using the gun feeder skill. So I personally, because it basically it's about how long it takes you to switch shells. I personally believe in rather shooting whatever is in your barrel and then switching the ammo type, because in most situations, and by the time you get to shoot after switching the ammo, even with that reduced reload time of switching the ammo, the moment is past. So while I understand it, I rather wait either a few seconds or I just shoot and then take the next salvo. That's at least my approach. But it's definitely an interesting option. And just as you can see here, so we have several options. We have the spotting aircraft. We do have the exhaust smoke generator. What does the exhaust smoke generator do? Also, I have to use the upgraded hull here, which will definitely be helpful for us. It also gives us a bit more firing range. You do get almost 52 seconds here because I'm using the flag. 52 seconds of action time of the consumable, and it will work.
Good for retreating.
Yes, it's mostly for retreating and repositioning, in my opinion, because you will still be detected at quite a bit of range. And I will show you this in game so you know what I'm talking about. I am set up. You guys are set up. So let's just jump into battle.
Yes, let's go.
Why using main battery mode 2? Actually, I would have to double check what I just mounted. Wait. Did I mount upgrades? Oh god, I might play without upgrades.
Did you do a
actually.
convoy?
That's okay. We'll have to play on tier 10 and see about that. Are there any news on Siegfried? I sunk your waifu. Not right now. We'll have to see. Stock ships OP. It's not a stock ship, but I didn't use like additional modules. Here's some feedback. Get rid of 2 CV games. We're trying. Actually, the matchmaker in most situations is trying to build a 1 versus 1 CV match, which is sometimes not possible, for example, low tiers because of the high amount of players who are trying out CVs on the low tier. But for example, on higher tiers, it's actually very, very rare that you would see a double CV game. How about 10 versus 10 CV match? That'll make for a fun experience or experiment. Well, I mean that is an option to do, right? But in training rooms, I think we removed that option from training room to only. I think it's limited to 3 CVs to not crap out the training room. Do you have data on Flint since update to give it a range buff? Pole Tramp, I'm still waiting for info on this. I would love to tell you more about what we might do, but I don't want to get your hopes up just yet. So give us a bit of time. Hopefully next week we'll have some updates about this. Oh, and ASF Destroyer says, the game has nice detailed 3D models. You should consider making online museum where you can walk on decks in first person. That would be really cool, but I think right now is not the time to open a museum with the current global situation.
Unfortunately, yes. But we had some AR models for museums already, and they seem to be quite popular. There was a question from our division mate, Captain Minia. What happened in reality with the real Vittoria Veneto? Well, the battleships survived the war, even though suffering some damage and stuff. And she surrendered to the Allied forces in 1943, and subsequently mostly stayed out of the war. In 1946, she was returned to Italy, but then as a war prize, she was allocated to Britain, and she was sold for scrap and stricken from the naval register in 1948.
So just what I wanted to show here. After firing main guns in smoke 14.9 kilometers, so you just have to be aware of the fact that if you deploy the smoke, and this was a complete newbie mistake from my side because I pushed the wrong button. I didn't rearrange my buttons here, so I unfortunately used the smoke generator, and I just have to be careful because I will still be spotted within 14.8 kilometers of range, which is.
I see a lion
Mm-hmm.
and a Friesland, which is not good.
Mm-hmm. I'll try to help you. The lion. Yeah, not the best hit. Overall, I always recommend highlighting enemy targets whenever possible, so just that the team is...
Okay, we'll radar the Friesland as soon as it disappears.
Okay, I'm reloaded in 12 seconds, so I'm awaiting. Bismarck, don't touch me. He's paying the price. Oh, now he's moving forward. And I whiffed, because I expected him to keep reversing instead of moving forward. But that Friesland did not expect that radar. And the Friesland is a very good cap contender, but that's always, you need to know what you're up against, because when the enemy has radar, your Hydra will not have the same range.
Yes, and basically slowing down and smoking up was not the best thing against Orkan. I mean, I don't play Orkan that much, really, because I prefer to have more torpedoes, but she's fun.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll have to wait till I can actually lob my shells over this island.
So anyway, going back to the cap, so please stand by to slap anything that tries to slap me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, actually I'm turning back. I miss the days of fighter strafing. Oh, Draculia, yes, that was a cool feeling if you could, position the enemy in a way that you can kill a lot of planes at the same time, but these days are gone. Do the secondaries fire HE, SAP, or AP out of curiosity? Oh, for the... most of these should actually fire HD. I would have to double check which ones would shoot AP.
What is your recommendation in how to engage DDs with Italian BBs due to the SAP doing maximum 10% of shell damage? Well, the same as if it was doing full damage, because still the SAP is a better option than the AP due to a slightly higher damage and over penetration and stuff. So go for SAP and just aim as if you were using AP against the DD.
Overall, I think you don't really have to change much in terms of like how you engage it. It's not like you're not playing it like, don't play it like an Italian cruiser. You won't have the same effect on it. So you also don't have to worry too much in a DD that suddenly it's an Italian battleship versus another type of battleship, that there's a huge difference. This is not what we wanted to create.
There's Z23 in B. Smoking up, so I might have another option for a surprise radar.
Bismarck, don't do it. Okay, so far we got through here scot-free. Waterline said we would get news about submarines. Now there are not even any news on the dev blog. When can we expect any news? I know this is not what you want to hear, but when we're ready to share news. It's not like we don't want to tell you, but we don't want to tell you things that are not finalized yet. So as soon as we have more information about this, we'll be very happy to share this with you. But right now the information would not be very helpful to you. So I hope we can understand this.
Oh, the Bismarck is really pushing behind this island.
Lachamacha.
What? Oh, Lachamacha.
Yeah. When will there be a fix to matchmaking? It's totally broken in the regard that it sets up teams with 2 or 3 players above 50% win rate and the other team with 7 or 8. Well, Herman German, our matchmaking is random in that regard. And it always was. And that's the core of random battles. I know you might disagree with this, but it's the design of random battles. And we are not going to at least change that aspect in the foreseeable future. Nice, there's a citadel. Maybe we can get a second one. And so that's not what we're going to change. It's just part of the game, at least for the random battles.
You slapped that egg here. My torpedoes were wasted.
Oh, sorry. No, actually not sorry, but
they wouldn't have it anyway.
That is dead. Let's see whether we can get
pushing in
shots. Turret traverse is also quite nice here, so let's see.
It's like. I guess nice. Good for the not really brawler, but rather mid-range battles.
Oh, the Balti's coming in. Just have to be a bit careful with the line here. Are there any news about Löwenhardt and Jericho Sirens? Oh, Rubber, that's a very good question.
I know that they were
supposed
to be, but I don't know now when they will come. We will check.
They were actually supposed to come even last year, so like in Q4. So I would have to double check.
But thanks for reminder. We will make a note.
Let me write it down. Oh, a double fire. You naughty boy. Let's do this. And then we'll turn and try to get into...
Can you slap the Baltimore, please?
Yes, Baltimore's gone. Okay. So now the smoke is not going to be... So now the idea would be, if I wanted to use the smoke, it's not going to do what I wanted to do. So what you would have to do is wait for your...
I'm a bit overextended here. Usual story with me, I guess. But unfortunately, nothing I can do right now.
So what you would be able to do is basically use it to disengage. Let's say he would be closer than my detectability range, and then you can use it to kind of reposition, re-angle, which is really nice. But what you can't do, like I will show this to you now, what you can do is do this, for example. Sitting here, like shooting from smoke, not being spotted. As I said, you see in here 14.9 kilometers. This is the range of being spotted with this ship. So that's not what would work. We will see that in a second. We will go dark. Now we could do it, but that would be more for range. Now I do have a setup here with, for example, Deadeye, so that would actually be working quite well right now. With that exhaust smoke, he's definitely not going to be in my standard detectability range, and he won't be able to spot me back while I'm shooting him, and that smoke is still running at the moment. And yep, that's what you potentially could do. But overall, it's not like using it and being able to just, farm ships from a very, very close range. Oh, the Bismarck is pushing in. Oh, there's a Smolensk. I have to be careful with this. I don't want to get farmed here. Any plans on adding a made of gold or bronze perma camo for tier 10? No, but we did add consumable gold and bronze camouflages, and we also we did announce that there's at least going to be a permanent steel camouflage you can mount. Oh, that shimmer. Can somebody get him? I would love to do something about that Bismarck. I guess the Amagi is going in for him. Are they ramming? It looks like it. Okay. Or not? No, apparently not. I definitely have to protect my broadside because I do have a very weak broadside. So
yes, I mean that's that's consistent with the other ship of this class.
Nice, we got 11k in. We'll set the secondaries to this buddy, and then with the next cell, we'll definitely take him out.
What is with all the recent battleship lines and longer than 30-second reloads? Italian BBs have bad dispersion, so wouldn't a standard or fast reload compensate for their lack of accuracy? Their compensation for the lack of accuracy, especially on high tiers, is generally the amount of guns. It's kind of like with the Dion in the French branch. So, like, you have a lot of guns, you have to take away somewhere to have the ships balanced. That's, I mean, it's always kind of a zero-sum game. Like if you buff one parameter in the development of the line, you generally should nerf the other. You should reduce the other so that it isn't over the top.
Exactly. And if we would see that, the ships need help in terms of damage output, we would do it. I'm not able to lob over this island? Apparently not. Oh, this would be a nice target. Three overpens. This would have been nice, for example, for SAP.
Ah, Smolensk.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we can switch to SAP and see what we can do to him. We want a Thunderer enough so badly. Any plans? No changes to the Thunderer planned at the moment, but she's not going to be available anymore after this update. For at least the foreseeable future. When do you expect the CV work to be finished? Also, can we expect the commander point tuning to take as long as CV work is taking? Like 3.5 years. So look, the commander skill rework, we will make changes. But I don't think that they're going to be like huge changes. In terms of the CV rework, obviously there's still work going on, but there's also not like we haven't really done a big set of additional changes in the past months. So I don't know like what to tell you in terms of like your personal expectation, but overall, yes, there will be changes to the skill rework. I'm sure that because now we have the option to now add new skills for different classes specifically more easily, that this is a cool option that we have for the future. And I'm sure that's going to happen at some point. And we also can, for example, add submarines with a different set of skills compared to the other system. While this is an ongoing project, the actual skills, there will be some tweaking going on, but then it will be kind of like the system for the foreseeable future. Can we buff tier 8 and above German ships for once? They already received several buffs in the past, for example, secondaries or main battery accuracy. Right now, not planned to give them right now a change. If we need to change something about them, we will do it and we'll let you know. But overall, the German ships in itself, and this was not the best use case for SAP. Overall, for German ships, there's nothing planned right now. If we need to make any changes based on, for example, performance of secondary builds, we will do this, but it will probably be more related to the skills than the ships. And one of the changes that we already wrote into German battleships is giving them a higher accuracy in terms of their secondaries compared to the, let's say, pre-0.10.0 builds. Oh, I'm still shooting SAP. I thought I switched to AP.
The Gamefell Guruman, why do Minotaur's 3-inch guns not count as DP guns? Well, because they are just too small to be really useful as secondaries on the tier. It's the same reason why, for example, on Mikasa we don't count the 3-pounder guns and so on. It's... Or actually why we, in the end, did submarines without dick guns. It's just something that wouldn't really have practical use, and it would obviously load the game a bit more.
So fairly average game here, I would say. We didn't really get into like the best positions, but overall, still we were here part of a tier 10 match, and we're able to hold
Captain
the ground.
Minia, I'm removing you from division now, and I'm inviting TC Freer.
Okay, then let's play tier 6. Also, we still have some news for you, so let's play tier 6 or tier 9. Actually, I think we have time for 1 or 2 more matches, and then we can talk about the news.
Yeah. So tier 6 this time?
And Dufour, I saw your question about the flags, but I don't have any news about this. At some point, they will be coming. When? I don't know yet. Love to answer this question.
So tier 6.
So we have a tier 6.
And we already have a destroyer in our midst.
So Andrea Doria, by the way, is the ship that you can also get just by using Italian tokens. So this is something that's definitely available to you. And if you play halfway actively, you should be able to get to this ship in the next update. So we'll take a main armament modification 1. I'm going to use damage control system. I just built this as my regular battleship. Here, main battery modification, you can go obviously also for aiming system modification 1. For the turret traverse here, I like to just have faster turning turrets at 30 seconds, which is not bad for a battleship at all, but 26 seconds might make the difference because I like to maneuver with my battleships quite a bit to be able to have that. Detectability range by sea is 12.4. Let's actually add the full hull. So we will have 17.2 kilometers of range, 12.4 kilometers of detectability, and now in terms of like rudder shift time is 13 seconds. I'll still want to wiggle that but a bit faster, so we're down to 10.4, which is actually pretty decent value in my opinion. Let's just recommend mounted flags. Mount recommended flags this way, and maybe let's go for what's a nice camo? Actually, Friday. Haven't used this camo for a while.
Friday.
So, I'm sure there were plenty more questions. If you change any skill, can we get back points from that captain skill? So, Yasa Diego, that really depends on what kind of changes we're going to make. So I can't give you like a definitive answer. It depends on what kind of change is going to be applied to what skills. And then based on that change, we will decide like how you will be able to, for example, redistribute it, or only the skill will be like unselected, or whether there will be another respec and so on. It really depends on the kind of changes we have to make. Will there be a chance to get the Azure Lane Litorio again at some point in the future? Is Von Broich asking. Potentially, yes, but it really depends on our collaboration.
Push the button.
Yeah. Look, I'm trying to answer questions and I forgot to push the button. Oh, you're playing the Mysore?
Yes.
Lovely ship. If you haven't seen her yet, she's actually like a really nice tier 6 AP only ship with creeping smoke. Doesn't have the torps, and oh god, nice matchmaking. That should be fun. Please play secondary ship. Well, today we wanted to focus on Italian battleships. I'm happy to play a secondary ship in the next stream.
But we played secondary ships in the previous stream when I was here.
Yeah. And Lion Drome, like, look, it was funny with the Belfast, but don't push it. I think, we told you this.
Oh,
already.
what is he asking for now?
Now he wants to buy Missouri for 10,000 doubloons.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Do you prefer Tigers or the city Weimar? Then you... Good question. question here from Grauer Spatz. He's saying, I always fill out the surveys and make an effort to write accurate answers, but there's never any feedback on what results of the surveys was and what conclusions were drawn of it. I'd like to see more feedback on what comes out of the surveys, otherwise it feels a bit empty. I feel you. I understand what you mean. It's hard for us to, because like there are various surveys going out. Depending on whether, for example, the source is in-game or whether it's, for example, our community survey that we have, to then, come back to you and, depending on what survey was out there, to give specific answers to that. What we're doing is internally, like we present the results of the survey, we share it with our developers, they take a look at it, and then we see what can we do to, for example, address the raised pain points or also highlight that something was very positively received. It really depends, but I can check what we can do to give you a better feedback on your feedback. Please focus on the DD. I can give it a try. I just don't want to kill your ears. So please give me let me know whether the sound is going to be fine or not.
This is not a DD.
You're not playing the DD. Nope, not fine. Okay. What's the problem with the sound?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll have to check, but it was fine earlier. So we'll check TC Freer's DD when we get close to him again. Will there be a chance to get Luigi again? You mean Sansonetti? Yes, you can actually get him right now because the containers should be in the armory. Looks like a very, very strong push here towards the one line.
Yes. I guess I should try turning around and going to the other flank.
Distortion. Yeah, I think it's the new capture card. It's really sad because we have a new capture card that was supposed to fix that issue we had in the past. With distorted, sometimes the laggy sound. And it was working last week, but apparently there's an issue, so we'll try to fix it. Okay, Mutsuki, let's see whether he's doing the full turn. I think he is. Didn't get the hit, unfortunately.
Dodge is strong with this one.
And as you can see, the gun configuration is quite interesting here. You have 2 triple turrets, 2 double turrets. We'll see what we can do to the enemies.
Well, the original gun configuration was even more interesting because you had also 1 turret amidships, but that was removed during the reconstruction.
Sorry, New York, pushing around you. Is he slowing down?
Who, the Gepard?
Yeah. He's accelerating.
I don't think.
Yeah. I got fooled. I mean, I do get 1 hit, but not as much as I wanted to get. Oh god, Mysore, I can see how much you hurt him. See whether we can get him. That was unlucky.
You seem to be down on your luck with the aim today.
That's okay. Actually, for a fully broadsided battleship, we do want to go for AP.
Oh, their Mysore also sunk our destroyer. So.
If I already have the Anshan, what will I get in compensation, Darknet? Darknet, you will get credits because the chip was available for call. But we also put that information into the publication. So in general, if you're looking for that kind of information, you can usually find it in the publication itself about the event. So we try to hand out that information wherever we can. But Johnny, are you still? You not turning? He's turning. Okay.
Okay, my smoke screen is out, so I'm actually probably repositioning to the other flank because that seems like it needs a bit of cover.
Can we get a hit here? At least 1.
Are the drops just for EU players? No, the Twitch drops are for all players, but unfortunately they are Twitch only. They are not YouTube drops.
Exactly. So if you're looking for Twitch drops, you will have to watch us on the Twitch channel. Thank you very much, TC. That's a very nice smoke here. Almost like an exhaust smoke that I got.
Yeah. To be fair, Will SAP of the battleships do same damage as the Italian cruiser. SAP on destroyers. Ah, damn it! Now I was caught. I was focusing on chat too much and wasn't paying attention.
No,
to the
like
game.
look, it's gonna be a different experience fighting DDs with Italian battleships versus Italian cruisers. The Italian cruisers are significantly more accurate compared to, let's say, an Italian battleship, which is also one of the factors why the SAP is so damn good against DDs with their cruisers, because you have a great mix of damage application plus accuracy plus speed. That's why it's so deadly for DDs. So you won't have that same experience over there. You basically deal over penetration damage, just like with AP. So the damage application isn't that great. It's still a good choice, right? And there we get the Citadel at least.
On the Bujone?
Yeah, on the Bajani.
Nice. And they are still a better choice than AP when dealing with destroyers, but yeah, it won't be as deadly.
Oh, hello, Mutsuki. What are you doing? Are you trying to do evil things to me? Okay, we got 3 hits. Oh, there's a Mysore on the enemy team. Gotta be a bit careful. Trying to highlight this ship. Nice, good job. Oh, that hurt. Was that? Oh god, that's gonna hurt so much. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Mistakes were made. I was slightly too pushy here. Now I would love to have that smoke. And we'll try to use our concealment, hopefully. There we go. To be able to get out of this. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Okay, these
Sounds
torps,
like things are not going
according
to plan.
Oh god, these torps are probably going to be my end because I'm not going to be able to turn out of them. Oh,
Wow,
okay.
you are lucky.
Yes, all skill, no luck. Okay, can we... Oh no, the Mysore is going to absolutely chase me because I would do the same. And we're not going to be able to do this.
Too far away from me, sorry.
And the CB is going for me. Yeah, that was my own mistake. Like I didn't realize there are 3 battleships. And I'm showing full broadside. Talking so much sometimes can be very detrimental to your health in terms of the enemy team. Okay, is he dropping on us? Maybe, maybe not. And now he's coming for us. I don't know why they're not focusing on me, but we'll take it.
Don't protest.
No.
They might notice.
Some stupid play from my side. Now we actually can switch to Tuccy here, so we'll just look at this from the top. I was, oh god, can't believe I made this stupid mistake. But you know, that's the way how World of Warships sometimes is. You make a mistake and you get punished for it. In general, that's my recommendation for you. Like, don't show full broadside in a battleship, like I just did. How do I get the Italian tokens is the big boy asking. There's several ways of how to obtain tokens, but first and foremost, by doing missions. We will have a set of combat mission groups where you can earn Italian tokens. There are also additional ways, for example, with the recruiting station. You can redeem a certain amount of Italian tokens using recruiting station points. We will also have, by the way, this is the amazing Urua with...
With the Boitata.
Exactly. Camouflage. Actually, let me show this to you here. So while we're showing this, so you have recruiting station points. You will also have the option to get more tokens with the missions that we're sharing on streams. So that's a really nice way to get them. There will also be tokens in the random bundles that will be available to you. But overall, plenty of ways how to get to Italian tokens. But all of this starts next week with the update, not this week. Do you plan to add some low or mid-tier free XP ships in the future? It'd be a nice reward for some people how they play them actively, but not every day. Low and mid-tier free XP ships, to be honest, I'm not sure whether we're going to add any in the near future. So I don't want to, raise your expectations for this. But overall, currently not planned. But as soon as we know what kind of ship would be there next, oh god, yeah, you don't want to be popping up right next to a Mysore. It does have the evil hydro, plus it has the smoke, and that's going to be TC. Yeah, well played by the enemy Mysore. I'll definitely give him a +1.
I mean, his smoke ran away, but ran out. But Yeah, definitely a good play.
Well, the good thing is that he has creepy smoke. So for me,
Yes.
that's creeping smoke,
Oh,
which gives him the opportunity to just peek out if he wants to, and then he can redeploy his smoke.
His smoke reloaded in the meantime, but yeah. Well, so now there's not much that I can do.
When will there be another Free XP and/or cold ship? As soon as we have news about this, I know you guys have been asking for this. Unfortunately, I don't have any news for you right now. We will let you know, but at least for today, no news on this. Any probability for Italian or Soviet CVs in the future? Oscar Van Bruce, of course, there is an opportunity.
There's always
for this.
probability.
But right now, you know that Italian BBs are around the corner. The next big thing is going to be German DDs, the second DD branch. So that's what's happening in the foreseeable future. And what comes afterwards, we will let you know. How about...
And that was the Mysore.
Nice. Good
Well,
job.
not from me, but...
Yeah, well, it was a devastating strike and he detonated. Oh, poor guy.
Yes.
Always a bit of a frustrating element when you get detonated. What is the chance of getting Pan American line developed? Die 52 really depends. Maybe in the future, but at least not planned in the near future. Too many German ships since a few months. Well, Jankos, it's always a bit of a kind of like a subjective thing. What would you like to see? Like there was high demand for German ships. I'm sure there's also high demand for, I don't know, for example, Italian ships were the Italian battleships, one of the most anticipated lines, I would say, in the past 2 years. So we're also adding this, and then we will have other ships coming afterwards. So we try to have, a variety of nations and ships in the game. And we did add quite a few German ships, and I hope you like to play them. Why is service for ships so high? Meadowlark, actually, I think that the servicing costs for most ships is actually not that high. But it depends on what you compare it to. Overall, our game economy is built around the better you play, the more rewards you will get. And that also affects kind of like your income. There's a basic level of servicing costs that you will have to pay. Plus, actually, the consumables, because we removed them, you don't have to pay for consumables anymore. So the credit income is significantly better than before. While not losing out on any potential performance using the old premium consumables, they're all now for free. And I would highly recommend you to take a look at how to improve your battle performance to get more out of your ship in terms of credits, and you can also use a lot of the economy boosters that we have in the game, like signal flags, camouflages, and so on.
Yes. Also, just to put it out there, it doesn't depend on whether your ship was sunk or not.
Yeah.
There's still, I mean, this was changed ages ago, but still, a lot of people think that if they save their ships, then they will have lower repair costs.
Yes. So then we have any news about clan battles? Well, we already shared the news about clan battles. The next season is going to start in 13 days. And then we're going to have the season, so season 12, that's the next season. It's going to happen on tier 9. It's going to be a 7 versus 7 format, which means on tier 9, there's not going to be any CVs. And we want to add an option for us that we can, for example, ban certain ships during the season. But how we're going to do this, we'll have to see once the season starts. Has Wargaming ever addressed the CV FDR? So the FDR, we of course, just like any other ship, we're keeping an eye on it, but currently there are no changes planned to this ship. And do you pay less for ammo if you shoot less shells, though? Yeah, that's true. Nothing about the hybrids then. Hybrids, unfortunately, don't have any news for you about hybrids. Same thing is true for submarines. But we have a few ships to show to you today. And we also
the news about hybrids is that they are still in testing and there are still changes being done to them. So,
yeah. Anoop for Life. Yeah, exactly. I started reading your question before. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get interrupted or, focusing on some other things. How about a new class for super cruisers? I don't think we're going to add a new class as BBs or cruisers separately for super cruisers, at least in the foreseeable future. If that changes, we'll definitely let you know. But for now, we kind of classify them internally. For us, they're kind of like large cruisers because they're slightly different than other cruisers, how they work, for example, in terms of fires. But overall, they stay within that class. And we also kind of acknowledge this in the cruiser tab for the commander skills. And Elder Negro is saying, good evening, everyone. Hello to you as well. The Corsair is asking, historical ships that were built, not just planned or in someone's mind. That's always tricky. If you think about the way the game is built, right? With 10 tiers. If you want to bring, for example, a nation like the German nation, that was one of the problems. What ship is going to be on tier 10? So sometimes we have to add paper ships to fill those tiers, and that is ships that were at least designed, on blueprints. Sometimes we have to extrapolate a bit to get to, for example, to tier 10. But overall, we try to have as many historical ships in the game as possible. But for certain branches, we then have to add other ships.
Yeah. For example, realize how many nations would be able to have ships that would be able to compete with Yamato or even Iowa that were really built.
Yeah.
That's just because those two nations continued to build battleships even because they can.
So there was a question here about whether we can do a little spoiler of which nation will come next and will be new. I mean, you could tell us from which continent. So I can tell you that the next line after the Italian BBs is the German DD line. It's Europe. And I hope you will enjoy this. What comes after? I can't. I would love to give you spoilers, but I can't.
Yeah, but as for nation, I guess the newest addition was the Brazil.
Yeah. Leo Brusa is asking, what does the new Italian BB line mean for Roma? Nothing changes for Roma, but the good thing is that your Roma will now have the option. If you, for example, have a commander for your Italian BBs, you have the option to just move him to another BB, and you can use the Roma a bit more. But overall, they can use the Roma for captain training and so on. But overall, the Roma doesn't really change because we're not touching the Roma in itself. Oh, Tuccy, are you going to survive this? You have to carry this, right? You know this. 981 HP, you can do it. I believe.
Yeah.
Why is there only one Japanese CV? Even Germany has more?
I guess it means premium.
Ah, okay. Well, I'm sure there will be more in the future at some point. But I don't know why there hasn't been one added recently. That would be the second one. Sorry, Pico. I don't have a good answer for this, except for didn't happen yet. Might happen in the future.
Mistimed turn.
On YouTube, eBordic is asking, is Wargaming thinking about introducing new types of ships into games such as submarines and torpedo boats? So submarines we're currently working on. You might have seen some tests already in the past. If you haven't seen them, I hope that we will have more information about this for you in the future. In terms of torpedo boats, unlikely, just in terms of the scale that we have in the game. It's not very likely to happen because it doesn't really fit very well. We had, for example, Schnellboote in one of our operations in the past, but overall, this is something we're not looking into right now. So, good job here to the enemy team. Just gotta say it. Well played. And good job to the enemy team. They definitely deserve this win. But I do also have to give our Fuso a +1 because he definitely had some good hits.
In the meantime, I switched around people in the division, so we have a Corbyite if he accepts the invite. If not, we will move down the line.
No, but we have news to share.
Oh yeah, true. We have news to share. So Corbyite has time to.
I think it's time. It's time for news in general.
So which of the news shall we share as first?
Yeah, let me see if there are 2 or 3 more questions before we switch to the news. In reality, Fuso had torpedoes in-game no says Stan Bogdan. So yes, so kind of the rule that we have in the game for ourselves is that if the torpedo tubes are basically mounted and not movable, we don't have them in the game. If the torpedo tubes are able to move, then we add them. I know it would be cool for some battleships to have torpedoes, but we thought it's from the point of view that we want to have certain lines to have special features, certain ships to have certain advantages and disadvantages. It's better for us to give it to certain ships as kind of like a trade instead of giving it to most battleships who had it in the past in the fixed version. While we prefer for players to have the option to have movable ones.
Yeah, I mean you can check on Mutsu how basically these typical torpedo tubes worked, and on Mutsu they can at least move a bit.
On Mutsu have a very, very tight angle, and you have to show full broadside, but it can be fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Usually, you have to show your full broadside. The turning torpedo tubes, as mounted on some German battleships, were actually exception, and they were. I mean, primarily they were not there to fight other ships, but just to sink merchant ships quickly. So, what is our first new? Which realm are we venturing into first? Because
Well,
we have a choice.
Let's talk about ships first, because that's
Okay.
obviously what people already spotted.
Yes,
because
it's true that post already went up on the dev blog.
but let's take a look at it.
Yes. So this is HMS Tiger, which is well, I mean, it was one of the last gun cruisers launched for the Royal Navy, and it's a bit. I mean, the turrets are probably a bit familiar. They are basically the Minotaur turrets, and it was a, let's say, last breed of light cruiser, of gun light cruiser, because she had the automatic 152mm guns. Only 4 of them, though. They are 2 turrets of 2 guns. And yeah, it was primarily intended as general all-rounder and AA ship. In game, she will be tier 8, as you can see on the screen, and she will have a repair party. She will have the surveillance radar and smoke generator and defensive AA. Which is, I mean, it's a kind of an interesting mix of consumables, but the trade-off will be no torpedoes. So basically, it's kind of like a cruiser Friesland.
Yes.
And obviously, in contrast to, for example, the older premium Belfast, she has only 2 turrets, and that means that she will be, I mean, probably not really a frontline ship, but she should be fun. You will have obviously to find the style. And the second ship.
Wait, before we do this, because I know you guys want to have stats. You can find the stats already on the dev blog, but to give you some kind of idea. So for the Tiger, you have 33.1 KHP for tier 8. That's rather on the lower end if you compare it, for example, like I personally compared it a bit to like the Edinburgh, where you have 36 KHP, you have 25mm plating. The main battery, as we said, is like a double dual turret with 152mm guns with 15.6 kilometers of range. It's AP only. And then you do have, let's go to maximum speed. It's a bit slower. It has 30.2 knots top speed. But the good thing is it's quite maneuverable because the turning circle radius is 590 meters, which is really nice. If I compare this to the Eden, I think it's around 730, I think. So that's significantly better. Yeah. And the rudder shift time is also quite nice with 8.9 seconds. The surface detectability, just like the Edinburgh, is 11.7 kilometers. So you can drop it down to 9.5 if you go for the full detectability build. And as we said, in terms of the slots that are available, you do get damage control party, you get a repair party, you get a smoke generator, surveillance radar, and the defensive A. In terms of smoke, it's going to be the classic Royal Navy smoke. So you have an action time of 15 seconds and then 106 seconds for dispersion of it. So I hope this sounds interesting to you. Obviously, all of this is work in progress. Early stage, we wanted to share it with you for the Tiger. We also have a second ship with us.
Yes, and it's, I mean, someone already commented on it. Another German ship, yes.
Oh no, how can we do this? Another German ship.
How can we live with this? But yes, it's another German ship. It's a tier 7 cruiser called Weimar, which is, where is it?
Okay, let's pronounce it properly. The German pronunciation for this ship is Weimar. Weimar.
Okay.
You can do it, Tuccy. You're so good at German. You can do it. I believe. Weimar. Perfect.
Yes. So, I mean, she probably looks kind of familiar to you, and it's not much surprise because she's basically a York class, but with a different armament, and that armament is 12 15 centimeter guns. So I would say like mini-mined.
Yes, kind of.
Yeah. She will have a fairly nice armor thanks to the York heritage. And obviously, she's with the smaller guns, she's more for shorter range battles. She will have a hydroacoustic surge, but she will also have something special to give her that something extra. And that special thing will be a speed boost. That's, I think, first speed boost we have on, or engine boost to be specific. That's the first we have on German ship, right? Like a German cruiser.
German cruiser, yes.
Yeah. So apart from that, obviously standard damage control party, defensive AA, and a fighter. So German cruiser with decent AA.
Mm-hmm.
She will have 32k hit points. And as mentioned, 12-15 centimeter guns with range of 15.4 kilometers. If we are doing the number crunching, the maximum AP damage will be 3,900, maximum HE damage will be 1,700. She will also have 12 torpedo tubes, 4 times 3, with a range of 6 kilometers. So I can already see with the speed boost some useful ambush action. And
yeah, in terms of, because I saw the question about reload time, so because I'm not sure whether I read it out for the Tiger 59, it's going to be 3.2 seconds reload time, and for the Weimar, it's
5 seconds.
It's going to be 5 seconds,
Yes.
exactly. It should be quite nice. It's going to be probably a very spammy cruiser. Plus, you get a maximum speed of 31 knots. Turning circle radius is 650 meters, and the surface detectability is 13.9 kilometers. So it won't be a very sneaky ship compared to the maximum firing range plus detectability. So you will have to, wiggle that butt and use your hit points accordingly.
And
as we
use
said,
islands for friendly cover.
yeah. Overall damage control party, you get hydroacoustic surge, or the choice for defensive AA. And in slot 3, you will have the engine boost, and we will also be able to deploy a fighter. So that should be quite nice. Hopefully that's interesting to you. If you're interested in all of the stats and you want to, go number crunching and compare it to, for example, a York or a Mainz or a Munich, you can just go onto our development blog, where you always find all of the latest information about the game itself and what's going to come next. But overall, please keep in mind, we're very happy to read your feedback, but this is still very early on in testing, so I'm sure there will be balance changes to both of these ships. And I hope you're going to be slightly hyped about this.
I mean, they both seem nice to me.
Yeah. So just to go back to show you the Tiger again, this is the Tiger.
Yes.
She looks very sexy. I like the British designs.
She looks sexy apart from that superstructure. That just like take a brick and put it on a ship.
It's functional.
Yeah, it's brutalist.
Yes. Okay, and then let's move to the next topic, actually. So we also have more news. I'll hand over to Tuccy again.
So, as you may know, we have a lot of various volunteer groups, and we have already used our favorite battleship USS Alabama for our super test volunteers in the past. So we are expanding a bit, and we are preparing a new permanent camouflages for the Alabama. Here you can see the first crop of them, 5 of them, and there's a second set of 5 as well, which will be used for various volunteer groups, basically as a special thank you to basically...
Yeah, for their assistance. Like, this is overall, like, I hope also the volunteers will appreciate this. We really appreciate all of the help that we get from the community, be it, helping us with moderation or with running tournaments and so on, the modders. Like, a lot of volunteers out there who are helping us, and, I'm very happy to see this happen.
Yes. And, Alabama is kind of a nice ship to have, so basically, there will be Alabama VL for volunteer, and the 10 permacamos. Can we get the second set?
Oh, let me check whether it's actually the next one. No, we're actually moving
it's
to
the
the
one
next
after next. It's a bit
Yeah.
So we will show them at the end of the slideshow probably. But the next news is concerning the basically April Fool's event, which will be a return of the Big Hunt, which was the Halloween event. We have taken a look at the event, how it worked. We have taken a look at the feedback, and we have changed it around to be a bit more interesting, more fun. You will have 16 players in a free-for-all in a huge map, which you already seen, the polygon. And there will be, again, AI monsters trolling around. You will start alone, but you can create temporary divisions, and again you can backstep and have a bit of fun there. What is one of the differences, for example, from the earlier event, is you will be able to join as a division. So you can form a division in a port, you will join in the battle, but in the battle you won't spawn next to each other and you won't be in the division, so you have to find your division mates and then use the diplomacy feature to actually get them into the same team, but you will be in the same battle. And why we did it this way is that so that it's not that uncomfortable for the single players, because even in division you still have to spend time finding each other, which and obviously you will have to collect battle points by destroying monsters, sinking ships, and then ideally you should try to escape from the map through the portal. There will be no octagon stage, so you exit the portal or you get sunk. That's it. You will be earning battle points, and you will be earning them also not only by the standard monsters, but also by fighting the big boss, the Aurora.
Exactly. This is going to be the big boss that will be waiting for you, and defeating it will not be easy. I think it's probably good to compare it to oh god, what was his name? Rasputin. Exactly.
Yes.
So there's basically an end boss waiting on that map. We removed the octagon. Also, we gave you the option to division up right in the beginning of the battle, as Tuccy mentioned, because that's based on your feedback from the last iteration of this mode. So we want it to be a bit more comfortable for you, and you can actually join with your friends from the beginning, even though you might spawn in different areas and you will still have to find each other. But at least you can start as a team and then meet up.
Yeah. The other thing that actually will be new in this mode will be 3 new ships, because you will have the 3 ships that were in the previous mode, but you will have...
But we have these.
Yes. So you will have a kind of dark force-looking Öland. I like it. You will have a golden Amagi, and you will have a... What color is that? Purple Akizuki. And each of them will have, again, a special set of... special set of consumables, special set of abilities, and special set of features. Some of them will be really, really, really cool. So there's that.
Yes. Also, keep in mind that there will be the new resource, which is a resource. It's going to be battle points, just as you earned them before. You will get them for destroying players, for destroying monsters, and these battle points you can enhance your ship in the battle with it. Just as before, there will be different things to do. For example, you can reduce the damage that you receive or increase the damage of your weapons. And if you successfully exit from the polygon, which doesn't require you to keep a key in the future, you will get additional battle points. And all of these points are then going to be transferred to the port, and you can use them in the army for 3 types of random bundles with different rewards. And among other items from the bundles, you will be able to obtain a new temporary resource, the corporation token, which then can be exchanged for these themed camouflages you can see next to us. This is something that wasn't possible in the previous iteration, but we saw a lot of feedback from you that you would like to get your hands on these very unique camouflages. So you will be able to do this by playing the mode.
And I think that's the news we have for Big Hunt. More news. And which news depends on which picture is next.
Yes. But actually, I just wanted to highlight, because there was a question about which ships you can use. So you will have a total of 6 ships available. You see the 3 that we're adding now, plus you will have the 3 from the last time. And
that
each
was
of these...
the Republic, the Rune, and the...
was it the...
Minotaur.
Yeah.
I don't remember
It
their
was
event
Smolensk,
name.
the Smolensk.
Smolensk. Sorry. Yeah.
Smolensk basically playing as a complete torpedo launcher boat.
So those will stay. Those will be the new ones.
So, what did I want to say? So, yeah, you have the 6 ships. Just as in the past, when you, for example, could mount different things on your Smolensk or Hindenburg, that you could mount different modules that will change the way the ship is played. And that's, I think, a really interesting aspect because depending on what kind of modules you have, it plays differently. And otherwise, the ships will be obtainable after completing chain of missions, just as before. So you play, you unlock more ships, you unlock the different modules for the ships, and you can play them differently.
Yes. So, what is the next picture? Those are the next 5 camouflages for the Alabama VL. So you can see that they are really sexy.
Yes, they should look nice, and once we can show you also 3D models of them, we're very happy to show them to you. This was the Aurora, right? The boss we were talking about.
And some new Italian containers. For the second part of the battleship event, you will have 2 of them.
Yes,
one
this one.
And 2. And what will be hiding in them, you will see when the event is launched. But apart from the containers, we are also adding 2 Legion camouflages for Marco Polo, as you can see here, and for the destroyer Leone. They will be in the similar legionary aesthetics. And that's not all. We will be adding the Eagle camouflage for Franklin D. Roosevelt, and you will be able to get it in the armory for the ranked battle tokens.
Exactly. Then some additional news that we have. So also one of the things we're going to improve is for aircraft carrier squadrons. We basically have added a land hit indicator similar to the ones that you're familiar with the main caliber guns of ships. So it's basically the same kind of indicator. And as a nice little quality of life improvement, in 10.2, the cost of post-battle servicing for premium and special tier 2 to tier 7 ships will also be reduced. So hopefully that's going to be nice for you.
Warspite will be printing money.
Yes. Also the performance, we get to the next topic. I'm curious, actually I will show you this in its full beauty.
Yes.
Because I know you probably love our faces, right? Because we're so pretty. But the next part is actually about visual improvements at the game.
Yeah, let's view this in the full resolution.
Let's view this first, and then we'll come back to this scene and talk a bit about what you saw, and then we'll play it again. Okay, so while we keep playing this in the background, I hope you like what you just saw, because there's a major update for visual effects in the game. Because
yes,
all of the
it
effects
looks amazing.
Yes, all of the effects from projectile tracers, fires, shots, splashing waters, AA explosions, they have been improved and updated for the new lighting system. We also added new visual effects for ricochets, firing ships when the fire prevention expert skill is active, so for hitting the citadel, disabled weapons, as well as for the damage control party, repair party, main battery reload boost, boosting search consumables.
And the good news is that there shouldn't be any catch, because while this will improve the beauty of the game, it shouldn't impact the performance for your computers. So yeah, it should be all positive.
Yes. So you can find all of this information also on the development blog. There should also be a link to the video on YouTube where you can just watch this. And I have to say, it looks really fantastic. And, we see quite often comments about, like, what are you going to do to improve the game's visuals? Is there going to be like a World of Warships 2.0 or 1.0 release? And as we usually say, like, we are constantly improving the game. This is something that we don't wait for, 5 years to roll out one big update to the engine, but we actually do it step by step. Every few updates, we try to give improvements, and I hope this is something that you will enjoy without having to invest into like new hardware or anything. You can just get this in one of the upcoming updates, actually in 10.2, which is not the next update, but the update after. So, yeah, it should be great. And because I see here a question from Klaus, the combustible says, oh, it's too bad the secondary system is meh at this point. If we see that secondaries are not competitive, we will make adjustments to them. But give us a bit of time to look at the data and see how you guys actually use the secondaries, how like all of the new skills actually interact with each other, and then we'll make some adjustments. And DT Phantom says, so instead of fixing the commander system you totally ruined last patch, you're making AA pretty, really well done. So because sometimes people say like we don't address hard questions. It doesn't work like this. Obviously, these changes in terms of visuals come from a very different team that is working on the commander skill system. Plus, these changes have been in the work for quite a long time, because such a change in terms of visuals of the game is, first of all, I think a change that most of you really appreciate, because having a more beautiful game is always better. And obviously, one thing doesn't have to do much, like it doesn't have much to do with the other thing. Obviously, we're going to keep working on the commander skill system, and hopefully we'll make some changes that will make you feel better about the changes that we applied. But these are two very different things. And I hope that you also see this and not just try to, put some salt here into the chat. Yeah, Space Travel has a question. Will King of the Sea be coming back this year? I need one more piece to finish the collection. Yes, the next King of the Sea tournament is already in the works. Hopefully soon, TM, we will be able to announce when it's going to happen. But you can actually expect it in the future, not too far away. We still want to have it this spring. And there should be definitely a chance, probably 2 King of the Seas this year, where you can get more containers. Any possibility of building, buying, earning the Puerto Rico Pretla scheme? We don't really have any news about this, but I can check internally if there's anything on this. And USS Iowa BB61 is saying having a working game would be better than a prettier game. Look, if you have issues with the game, please report it to our customer support, and then we'll try to help you to fix it. Make sure you don't have any old mods installed. Make sure you have the latest drivers, and then please contact us. Send us like a wargaming check plus a DX report, so we can take a look at what's happening on your PC, and then we'll do our very best to make sure that you can play this game, because obviously we want you to be able to play this game on most of the machines that are out there. How will these visuals affect performance, especially for potato PCs? Blackthorn, at least from what we see right now, the performance will not change, and the peak loads will actually improve significantly. So hopefully this should not impact your PC at all in terms of how it's performing right now compared to how this is going to be performing in the future.
There was a question probably reacting to the Alabama VL camos. Will you be introducing real camos? We are introducing real camos all the time, especially with premium ships, but also with regular ships. But the thing is, the most navies real camos were generally not really that interesting looking, and we had often. I'm still expecting the bug reports on Mysore. But for example, with Tashkent, we had a lot of bug reports about the permanent camouflage not working, because the permanent camouflage, the historical one, was just flat, very light blue. So there wasn't really that much change visible compared to the standard hull. So then we introduced another not fully historical permanent camouflage for Tashkent, just to have something more colorful as well. But I mean, the thing is, ships on sea get rusty and dirty and stuff, so most navies figured out that while the crazy camouflage patterns might help against submarines, they don't really help that much in other circumstances, be it against other ships or against planes. So, in general, they switched to monotone dark blue or gray gradually. So
Yeah. There was a question here from Azura68. Any plans to remove CVs from the game? No such plans. Virtual Senpai, one of our CCs. Hey, Virtual is saying, I probably speak for most of players, but please address tier 4 CVs that are causing newer players to quit the game due to the inefficiencies of low tier A. Being struck incessantly by seal clubbers has become an issue for many new players, and it should be addressed. So, this is a big topic, but overall, also, you have to be aware of that you and me might probably perceive this differently than a new player in terms of how you interact with tier 4 content in general. There are tier 4 CVs in the game, and the A is also not that strong. Players, get actually acquainted to how AA works, how CVs work, and you as a new player usually struggle with a lot of aspects of the game, like how do citadels work, how do the different types of ammunition work, right? You're very early in when it comes to the game, and you're actually in protected matchmaking for the first, what is it by now, 200 battles, I think? As a newbie, you're actually protected from, seal clubbers because we do want to protect newbies in terms of how they interact with the rest of the player base. But at some point, you will have to be part of the rest of the player base that is actually fighting with each other, and that's the way you learn. You know how it is, right? You have to face better players to also become better. But obviously, this is a topic that we keep an eye on, and we try to already help this topic with reducing the amount of CVs that are in the same game, and we'll have to see how we can improve this. But it really depends. And overall, it's a tricky topic, right? With the amount of A that is available on these ships, also historically, if you take a ship like the Arkansas Beta and you compare it to what we could technically do. So it's a bit of a tricky topic, but maybe we'll have some improvements for this in the future. But thanks for bringing it up, and always feel free to bring up topics that you feel passionate about and where you think we can improve in the future. Frankly, we need more new players. We also need events and special attention paid to retaining these new players. Go play a tier 2 or 3 battle. Nobody's there. So, Ranger, we have a constant flow of new players. We would also love to have more players, and I would highly encourage you, if you have friends, who would potentially like to play with you World of Warships, you can use, for example, the recruiting station. You can both play together. You can get rewards, and you can level up together. That's always appreciated also from our side.
But I would just point out that if you go as a already experienced player to the low tiers and you find nobody there, it's because the newbies are actually in the protected matchmaking. So they are hidden from you. Yes. You are meeting only other experienced players who are down there. So yes, for existing players, this might get a bit long, but
yeah. What else do we have? Troy the firefighter says, top tip for you guys, get your teams together to work together and feed us with realistic camos, put the gold paints away. This has nothing to do with teams working together. We have this content. If you don't like it, don't apply it to your ship. We also have plenty of filters in the game for some of the unreal, or unhistorical content that we have in the game. So you can experience the game in the way you want to experience it. But overall, I don't think it's a bad thing to have something like a gold camo in the game if you want to use it. If you go and play in ranked battles and you earn your gold camouflage, I'm sure that many players actually appreciate having this. Or for example, like the very nice steel camouflages. It's just something that is nice to look at. And while we try to have the game in certain aspects to be very realistic, or also very very enjoyable to look at in terms of historical aspects, but also it's a game. So we have some of these aspects also in there. It's not a simulation. Any more news to announce today, Brand? No. So
just that wasn't enough news?
Plenty of news, new ships. We have the Tiger 59, we have the Weimar coming as 2 new cruisers, Tier 7 and Tier 8.
We have a new event coming. We have some new specific camouflages coming, and Alabama to come with them. And we have some beautiful graphic updates.
Yep. So hopefully that sounds great to you. Obviously, I don't think we have a lack of content in the game, to be honest. There's plenty of stuff happening. With the next update, you will be able to get early access to the Italian battleships. Pay attention to the dedicated articles that will be coming out for this, and you will find all of the information that you have or that you might need to get the most out of it. I can highly recommend you to actually come join our channels for the next update if you want to get some additional missions to earn more tokens and use them to unlock early access content. You're going to be able to earn in total up to 1,000 Italian tokens with these missions, which is enough to get the tier 4. And if you're already grinding for a higher one, you can use it for that as well. Maybe get the tier 5 or the tier 6. Tier 7 will be available through the combat missions, the combat mission groups that will be available throughout update 0.10.1. And if you manage to finish them all, you will get the tier 7. And otherwise, you also have access to the tier 8 and tier 9. But the tier 9 will be basically, you will have to pay for it by purchasing random bundles to get to that ship. Do we have any other questions? Can you guys at least add a back selected fire for AA like in the old days and have this stack with a side priority? Well, side priority kind of substituted this clicking on the planes, and I think it's easier to use because you just push a button and then the entire side is going to be reinforced in the priority sector in terms of AA strength. I know what you mean, and like I'm an old player in that sense. I've played this game in Tuccy as well, like since the beginning, since it was out there, and sometimes you get very used to certain ways how things work in the game, and it changes not always great, especially when you're used to everything being the way it is. But overall, this is not something we're planning at the moment, but I'm happy to share it internally, and maybe we can pick it up in the future. More quick comments. Oh, wet spot. I would love to have that. I don't know whether we're going to be adding any.
I'm not sure,
soon.
but yeah, we'll check.
Yes. You still keep an eye out on Flint and Smolensk. Frozen Frosty, absolutely. Please don't think we're not like we're just putting this under a carpet and not thinking about this anymore. No, the thing is we need a bit more time, and this is why I don't have any information for you today. I would love to be here and give you like upcoming changes for commander skills and ship balancing, but right now I don't have it because the team is still looking at the data, and as soon as this is done, I'll be happy to share it with you. What else do we have? Any plans to add key commands to lock secondaries on the target rather than clicking? A key control. We can ask, to be honest, if we can allocate a button to it. I think that for me it would be harder because I like if you just push control, you can just use the mouse and it's significantly faster than trying to aim and then push the button.
It's also the current system is thinking about it. It's faster to click on ships that you don't have locked in, because I quite often assign the secondaries to different ships than I assign my guns to. We can pass this along.
Mm-hmm. How about a printable instruction manual with quick reference cards that can be laminated? We actually have these for
Gamescom.
For Gamescom and other offline events, so that a new player who has no clue how the game works can actually take a look at them and play them. Maybe I can send them to you if you want to print them out for yourselves. In terms of skills, I know that data is still a big topic. We're keeping we're looking at this, but right now I don't have anything to share about this skill in particular or any other skills. So give us a bit of time. We'll come back to this and provide you with more information. Overall, don't forget you have one additional week until the next update hits, when the captain skill resets will be free. After this point, it won't be free. So please, if you I know sometimes how it works with time and you're like sitting there like, oh God, no, the update is already loading. So please make sure that over the course of the next 3 days, you reset the ships where you still want to play around with it. If you have any questions about the skills, feel free to go to the forums, check out contributor streams, for example. We have plenty of them here, for example, Virtual Senpai or TC Freer were here earlier. They are very happy. I'm sure they're very happy to help you with, kind of giving you recommendations, what you can play with, what you can build on your ships. But I hope up until this point, you already did this with the different builds and you figured out for yourself what you would like to use on your ships. So just as a friendly reminder, all of these discounts are going to end in basically 1 week. So go and make use of them.
And not only discounts, but you still also have a chance to get the snowflakes. So if you didn't collect all the snowflakes, especially on the high tiers,
yes,
go, you still have time.
Good. And I think that's going to be it for today. I think we answered.
We are not doing last battle then.
No, unfortunately, I have to. I have to run and do something.
Sorry, Corbyite, for keeping you, but yeah.
Yes, we'll play it next week for sure. Next week we're going to have the update stream, which will start at 4 o'clock Central European time in German as usual. We'll be live for 2 hours in German, and then we'll switch over to English. So if you want to just come back next week and take a look at the update together with us, also be here to, get the bonus code or the Twitch drop for the new missions that will give you the opportunity to earn additional Italian tokens, then make sure to come back next week, same place, same time. You know where to find us here on twitch.tv/World of Warships or on our official World of Warships YouTube channel. Geist says already Gute Nacht. I hope it's not good night already. At least I'm going to be up for a little bit.
Hopefully, yes.
And yeah, otherwise, please, take a look at all of the upcoming things. Come back next week if you have any questions. I think we addressed most of the questions out there. And take care. It was a pleasure, as always, having you here. And we'll be back next week. We'll also be rating somebody. I haven't really picked anybody yet. So we'll go into the outro scene and then we'll just move over. Tuccy, do you have a good hashtag?
Not really, no.
Oh God, what was the Latin one from Romans Go Home? Oh God.
Wait.
God, the Life of Brian. I would. Oh God, Kat, you have to help me. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know, and I'm actually
the Life of Brian. You will find it. Okay.
Cool. Romani ite domum.
Perfect. So, guys, we will.
Romanes eunt domus.
Romanes eunt domum. Exactly. Yeah. So, guys, we'll send you over to one of our amazing CCs. I wish you a very good evening and talk to you next week. Hopefully with Mr. Conway back here.
Yeah, I wish you a very good evening as well. And come back next week and have fun.
Bye-bye.